Hey everyone, it's Anna. Thanks so much for visiting my channel. I recently shared a video where I got some stamps from High Hopes, and those stamps were unmounted red rubber, and Canadian Yuki Girl sent me a note and asked me how I use them if there's nothing on here to keep them held to a block or a stamp positioner or something like that. So I thought I'd go ahead and just do a quick video and share some details with you. So thank you so much for your question. I appreciate it. So how I do it now, because I've done it differently in the past. How I do it now is I use a product called Tack and Peel. It's from Sukaneko, and I'll put a link to it down below so you can see what the packaging looks like because I don't have mine anymore. It's called Tack and Peel, and what I've done is I have a spare MISTI or a stamp positioner, and what I've done is I've stuck a piece of that Tack and Peel to the inside lid of my MISTI, so you can see it here. I have a small piece up here and a larger piece here. So what I've done is I've stuck a piece of it to the inside of my MISTI lid, and this MISTI is going to be dedicated, or is dedicated to only using unmounted red rubber stamps. I could take this off if I wanted to, but it would ruin it, and it would ruin the Tack and Peel. It wouldn't ruin the MISTI lid, but it would ruin the Tack and Peel, and so I would need to put another piece on here if I chose to remove this. What I do then is I take off this protective sheet, and this just keeps your Tack and Peel from getting dusty and losing its tackiness. And so I just pull this off, set it aside because I'm going to put it back on when I'm done, and then I adhere my stamp to the Tack and Peel, and it sticks just great. I ink up my image and stamp it just as I would if it was a regular cling mount stamp, or a clear stamp. And when I'm done stamping my image, I just remove the stamp from the Tack and Peel surface, put my stamp away, and then I replace the protective sheet here. And you can use this Tack and Peel over and over and over again. You just need to remember, once you stick it to a surface, either leave it there or be prepared when you take it off that you're going to just throw this Tack and Peel away. All right, so that's one way that I use them. The other way that I use them is, again, using the Tack and Peel, but I have this mounted to a clear acrylic block. And again, I've mounted this on here and it just stays here. I don't ever remove this off. I just remove the protective sheet, and you can see the surface here is tacky. And then I can go ahead and find my stamp, stick it to my block, and then I can stamp this just as I would if this was a wood-mounted rubber stamp. Okay, that stamp is going to stick there temporarily, and it's going to work just perfectly. So then I would actually remove this when I'm done and put my protective coating back on my block. Now you're going to want to have whatever you put your Tack and Peel on, you're going to want to most likely keep it as, you know, that solution. So if you're going to use an acrylic block, just stick it on there and leave it, because once you take it off, it's going to be ruined. This Tack and Peel has been on this block for probably 15 years, and I just take off the protective coating, stick the stamp on, and stamp away and put the protective coating back on and throw my block in my acrylic block drawer. So that's the second option for you, still using the Tack and Peel. The other option for you, and is also one that I have used frequently in the past, is applying Aleene's Tack It Over and Over glue to the back of your unmounted rubber stamp. And what that allows you to do, once it is dry, this one looks kind of bubbly. So here's that little cute cowboy snowman image that I had a card of in one of my previous videos. What I've done is I've applied that Tack and Peel glue to the back here, and then what it does when it dries is it's tacky and it sticks to an acrylic block. And I can use it just like I would if it was a clear mount stamp, or if it had cling mount on the back. Then I can stamp it, and then remove it and then put it back in my storage container. Now this one looked really weird. It looks all gross, sunburn peely like this, because I put it away. I put it on the storage sheet before this was completely dry. If I had waited until this was completely dry, the whole surface would look like this. So it's important that you wait for it to dry, put a thin layer on and let it dry completely before you store it away. And then what I store them on is a clear acetate sheet. So you can see here that it's just a clear, heavyweight, like overhead projector sheet that's nothing fancy. And because that Tack and Peel is temporarily adhesive, it sticks to there just fine. Looks like all of these I put away before they were dry. So here's a better one to show you as an example. The Tack and Peel was completely dry before I adhered it to the sheet. So they don't always have to look gross. Apparently I was impatient. So, you know, they stick on here just fine, and they stick to your acrylic block just fine. And this is also a great way that you can store them too. You just put them on this acrylic sheet. I like to put a cardstock divider in, and then you just put them in a page protector, and you can store them in 3-ring binders. So here's the page protector that these were in. Then I would just slip these down inside. And then I can pop it into my 3-ring binder and store it on my shelf, just like a book. So the other nice thing that I like about this storage solution actually is that I can use this 2-sided. I can put another piece of clear acetate down in here with more stamps attached. And so it's kind of like a 2-sided storage solution, which I really like. The other option is using this Tombow Mono Liquid Glue. Once this dries, this is a removable or temporary adhesive as well. So similar to the Tack It Over, I just use this because I have such a big bottle of it. I've never run out and never had the need to actually try to use the Tombow. But I have heard that this adhesive works similarly to this one in that once it dries, it remains tacky, and it's like a temporary adhesive then at that point. The other option that you have is turning them into cling mount stamps. This, I think, is probably the most expensive option, just because the Easy Mount stamp foam is not inexpensive. So basically what you would do is you would purchase this adhesive. It's really super sticky on one side and has the cling mount adhesive on the other. So you would need to peel this back, lay down your unmounted red rubber stamps, cut around them, and you would need to use a Teflon scissor, something that's a non-stick, because this stuff is super, super sticky. Cut around them, and then once you peel this backing layer off, then this becomes a cling mount stamp. So that's also an option for you. And then here's this is what a cling mount stamp would look like then. So this has the gray adhesive adhered to the back of the rubber, and then this side is the cling mount side. So it's not sticky to the touch, but it sticks to an acrylic block. And those, I think, are your main options. In a pinch, you can also put double-sided tape on the back of an acrylic block. I've done it before, but it's very difficult to get the tape off of it after a while. So if you have a block that you can dedicate or sacrifice to this process, you can, in a pinch, just put some double-sided tape on the back of it, stick your red rubber down, and it will stay long enough for you to use it as a mounted stamp. But like I said, it's very difficult to get the tape off of these acrylic blocks. So it's going to be something that you don't necessarily want to do unless you have a spare block and you're just in a pinch. So that, I think, is all the options that I have used. If you have used other options, let me know in the comments below, and everyone can see your experience as well. And so I hope this has been helpful. And using unmounted red rubber stamps is easy. It's sometimes best to put a piece of foam or a stamping foam down under your paper. You'll get the best impression, especially if you don't have the nice foam cushion between your mount and the red rubber. But that's easy to solve as well, just by using a piece of foam or even a catalog of some kind. So anyways, I hope this has been helpful. Thanks again so much for the question, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!